Hi guys, today we are working on this pen and watercolor project, and we've already done our pen techniques, and now we are moving on to the watercolor part of the project. So we have to get this background ready for our drawing. So in order to do that, we have to make this tie-dye looking background and then let them dry. So we're going to do two different pages today, and these instructions are reminders for those at home who were in person, and also for those of you who could not be in person. You guys are going to do your project just a little bit differently, and I will explain that. If you were in person, you have paper that I gave you for this project. If you're at home and weren't able to make it in person, obviously you don't have the paper that I gave you, so you're going to work from your sketchbook page. So let's just set this to the side. We've got your sketchbook open. We're going to go ahead and tear out two pages. Okay, we've got two different pages. I tore them out because they're going to get really wet and saturated with our watercolor, and I don't want to mess up my future sketchbook pages. So I'm going to set my sketchbook to the side. Okay, and I've got my two pages. I'm going to do one at a time here. One is going to be in warm colors, and one is going to be in cool colors. And I've got two examples here. I've got them smaller so that you can see them. They can fit on my screen and you can see them both. So warm colors, the entire page will be filled with reds, oranges, and yellows. We can remember warm colors because they are hot, like fire or the sun. And then our cool colors are blue, green, and some purples. And we can think of those when we think of water or grass. So one full page is going to be warm, one full page is going to be cool. I'll set my examples to the side and show you how we do this technique. It's kind of similar to when we worked with our abstract. We already worked with watercolor a little bit. So we're basically not trying to paint any certain thing. We're just doing some swirls and patterns. So I've got all of my watercolor supplies. I've got my paper towels, my water cup, and I've got my watercolor set. I already have some paints mixed up. If your tray of your watercolor set has some dried watercolor and you want to use that color, you can just add some water to it and wake it back up. Or if you don't want to use that color, you can add some water to it and then dry it out with a paper towel. Okay, you can do it that way. If you have a watercolor set where your colors can lift out like mine, you can also take this entire tray and wash it at the sink as if it were dishes, okay? And then just put your tray back in, your colors back in. So we like to mix our colors in the tray. I like to have them all ready to go. I'm doing my cool color one. Okay, I'm going to set my colors to the side. I like to rinse out my brush and maybe put a little bit of water on my page already to kind of get it started. And then I can add some colors and drop in some colors from here. I know that it's a little bit shiny on yours. I'll move it here in just a second so you can see my colors better. So I want to add different colors together. That's really, really dark. So what happens when I get it really dark? If I have a completely filled dark page with color, then I can't really see my pen drawing when I draw over top of it. So I want to make sure that if I've got some dark areas, I come back in with water and I spread that paint out. When I add more water to my paint, it gets lighter. Okay, so now I'm working with a little bit more of a color that would be nice when it dries that I can draw over top. Let me move this around. See how my paint is so drippy that it's moving all around? This is good. You want your colors to marble into each other, and that's one of the things that makes that tie-dye effect. Also, as your paint dries, it's going to create these shapes like what's going on here. That shape, as it dries, will keep changing and end up turning into something like these. Okay. So I'm not drawing a particular thing. I'm just making sure that I have the right colors on there and they're kind of marbling into each other. And I'm just going to fill this page then with color. And I'm just kind of going back and forth. Water, color, some of the lighter color I've mixed already. And then that changes the value here as we're working. Okay, I'm just going to keep it moving. Fill this entire page with with cool colors. These are the cool colors. They're going to end up being like this. And then you're going to do a completely new page in your warm colors. So this page then will be filled with colors like these, warm or hot like the sun. All right, after you do your watercolor pages, you're going to set them to the side and let them dry. And then you'll choose your favorite one to do your drawing on top of. So after you let these dry, you'll need to refer to those instructions that I posted if you were not in class. If you were in class, you already have your instructions and you can continue as we discussed in class this week. All right, if you have any questions, please let me know. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.